Alright, what is going on, guys? It's Tazz here, and welcome back to the channel. Now today what we've got for you guys is another Flash video, and in this video what I want to talk to you guys about is the possibility of Ronnie Raymond actually being the God of Speed himself, Savitar, and how he actually could be Savitar. But before I get into anything, I just want to say spoiler warning for the Flash Season 3 if you guys are not caught up, but if you are, let's continue. So in addition to thinking about this right at the end of the most recent episode of The Flash, I did actually see a lot of people talk about how Ronnie Raymond could be Savitar. I think that's the thing that I've seen the most after the most recent episode is everybody saying, oh, Ronnie's got to be Savitar, Ronnie's got to be Savitar. I've seen so many things on Twitter, on everything else. I've seen a lot of videos on YouTube and everything about people saying that Ronnie could be Savitar. But what I want to do with this video is sort of explain my theory as to how Ronnie could actually be Savitar. I'm not specifically saying that I think Ronnie is Savitar. I'm saying that it's definitely a possibility, but just with this video what I want to do is just sort of state sort of my reasoning behind sort of how Ronnie could actually be Savitar. But before I actually do go into my theory, let's play the clip that sort of sparked the entire theory of Ronnie being Savitar.
For you. Fear not, my child. I have come only to offer you what you desire.
And what's that?
Salvation.
You want to cure me? Turn me back into Caitlin Snow?
No. I want to make sure Caitlin never returns.
Why should I trust you? What do you need me to do?
So, within the most recent episode, we saw Barry go to the future, and he saw all of Team Flash. He tried to ask the future version of himself, tried to ask the emo Barry who Savitar was. He tried to ask, basically, he was just sort of going around the future, trying to ask everybody who Savitar was, and Team Flash didn't seem to know the answer to that. Even though they did end up actually defeating Savitar later on, they never actually found his name out. But there was one person in particular that did know Savitar's name, and that was Caitlin Snow, or Killer Frost. And when Barry was able to find out where she was and approached her about this, she sort of gave him a look sort of saying, you'll be so surprised when you figure it out, in sort of an evil way, because she actually ended up teaming up with Savitar in the future. And at that point in the episode, we didn't know about the sort of the end credit scene that I showed, is that we didn't know that it would happen so soon in sort of the present day, is that Killer Frost would actually end up teaming up with Savitar to, I don't know if she's really wanting to take down Team Flash, or if she's sort of just joining up with Savitar just for the promises that he made her. And now back to that sort of end credit scene, we saw Caitlin sort of walking through the snowy woods in sort of a similar area, I would say, to where that Killer Frost versus Vibe fight was happening. So I don't know if it's just sort of reusing sets, or if that's actually where the Killer Frost versus Vibe fight will take place in sort of the present day within the next couple of episodes. But we saw Caitlin walking through the woods in the snow and everything, and then we saw Savitar appear in front of her and talk to her for a bit. And then Savitar says, I've been waiting for you. Fear not, my child. I have only come to offer you what you desire. And that offer from Savitar was to make Caitlin stay Killer Frost forever, so that she would never be able to actually turn back into Caitlin Snow. And this sort of piqued her interest in wanting to work with Savitar. And then she sort of asks him, why should I trust you? And then he goes and sort of kneels down to reveal himself to her. He sort of goes through this almost sort of Transformer-like thing, so I know a lot of people were thinking about that when he was doing this, sort of because everybody's keep saying that he looks like Megatron and everything throughout the entire season. So we'll just say that he sort of transforms out of his suit. It opens up. It's really, really cool. I really love this Savitar suit. But anyway, he sort of transforms out of the suit. It opens up, and then we see him step out of the suit. We sort of, all we see is sort of like his leg and his shoes. He's sort of, I mean, there's really no way to tell who he is from the leg and the shoes and everything. And then immediately when Killer Frost sees who steps out of the Savitar suit, she immediately gets sort of this really shocked and surprised look, almost like she's seen a ghost, and she says, "What do you want me to do?" And after this, I immediately thought, who would Killer Frost immediately sort of pledge her allegiance to and sort of do whatever they ask her to do? And the only person that I could think of would be Ronnie Raymond. And I mean, on either Earth, Earth 1, Earth 2, Killer Frost, Caitlin Snow, she always sort of gravitates towards Ronnie Raymond, whether or not he's Firestorm, whether or not he's just normal Ronnie Raymond, whether or not he's Deathstorm when they were both evil on Earth 2. I mean, she always sort of gravitates towards him because he's who she loves, you know? I mean, that's sort of the thought that I had when watching this. That's sort of why everybody's sort of been thinking that Ronnie is Savitar, but I know that there have been people saying, oh, why would it be Ronnie? He said, my child. That's sort of, I don't know, that's a little thing that people have been saying about it. I mean, that sort of is like that, but I mean, he's sort of like, he's been saying that he's a god the entire time, so, you know, that's sort of my thought on why he would do that. Some people are saying, oh, maybe it's her dad because he said my child, but I don't think they would go that route. So now that I've told you guys sort of why I think it could be Ronnie under the Savitar suit, or just sort of why it could be Ronnie, sort of the things that point towards why it could be Ronnie under the Savitar suit, let's sort of go into my theory on how I think Ronnie could have actually turned into Savitar. So remember back to the Season 1 finale, and I guess they sort of went into this in the Season 2 premiere as well, is remember the big singularity that opened up over Central City? Yeah, that thing, that little thing. Remember the big singularity and everything, and how Firestorm, as Ronnie Raymond, had to go up inside the singularity, and he sacrificed himself. He was the one who got sucked up in the singularity, and Martin Stein survived it. He was saved by Barry, he survived it, and Ronnie was presumed dead, I guess you could say. And as for the last couple of seasons, we've been all thinking that he is dead. But sort of as I was thinking about in my, I've stated this a while ago in my first Savitar theory as to how I think Eddie could have actually become Savitar, was that he could have, when he got sucked up into the sort of wormhole that was in the particle accelerator in Star Labs, I thought that could have sort of made him become Savitar, sort of tossed him back in time and things. So I'm sort of thinking the same way as to how Ronnie could be Savitar, is I'm thinking that possibly when he was sort of sucked up into the singularity, maybe it sort of put him back, it placed him back in the past, sort of as a way for him to actually technically be the first speedster. He was thrown possibly into the past somewhere, and with maybe either with the Philosopher's Stone, or maybe all of the debris and everything within the singularity could have maybe fused to him, and possibly the singularity could have sort of made all the debris fuse to him. Maybe that is why he has the suit now, is the suit is possibly could have been like sort of part of all the materials and everything in the singularity, or he could have gotten the Savitar suit as well as all of his Speed Force powers from the Philosopher's Stone, which he was possibly sort of thrown back in time near the Philosopher's Stone, so he could use the Philosopher's Stone to actually get his suit and his Speed Force powers, and possibly get rid of his Firestorm powers so he doesn't, you know, go nuclear. And now I'm leaning more towards him getting everything from the Philosopher's Stone, and I think possibly when he was thrown back in time, that the Philosopher's Stone probably called out to him, just as it's done to people previously, like it called out to Julian, it called out to Cisco, I think, as well. And I think probably what happened is the Philosopher's Stone called out to him, sort of showed him that he could get his old life back, that he could go back to Earth 1, or, I mean, he's probably still on Earth 1, but you know what I mean, go back to the present time, go back to where he was, go back, see Caitlin again, see everybody again, and sort of just have things go back to the way it was. But I feel like possibly when he touched the Philosopher's Stone, sort of like we saw in that clip of the kind of, I guess, quote-unquote origin of him, when I think Jay Garrick was explaining it to Barry earlier on in this season, we saw him sort of, we saw a guy, we saw sort of his back, and we saw him holding the Philosopher's Stone, and him transforming into Savitar. from the Philosopher's Stone. So I think probably the stone called out to Ronnie. It showed him that he could get his old life back, but it gave him the Speed Force powers, turned him into Savitar, gave him the metallic suit, gave him the, I guess, robotic metallic suit, whatever you want to call it, gave him the suit, and it possibly could have messed with his mind a little bit and sort of turned him evil in a way. This all might be kind of the doing of the Philosopher's Stone itself. Maybe the Philosopher's Stone is why Savitar is doing what he's doing. Maybe, yeah, actually no, that's kind of dumb. But I think probably this, the Philosopher's Stone has something to do with why Savitar is doing what he's doing. It probably messed with his mind, and it sort of is making him blame Barry for everything, for what he did, while he, even though he sort of sacrificed himself and he did it on purpose, maybe his mind is sort of getting sort of scrambled by the Philosopher's Stone, and now he's blaming Barry and Team Flash and wants to get back at him by killing Iris. But, I mean, that's just my theory as to how Ronnie could have actually become Savitar, and now there's actually a possibility that whoever Savitar is was maybe using sort of that mask, that sort of face scrambling technology, or whatever you want to call it, that HR was using to sort of appear as somebody else. Maybe he's using that same technology to appear to Caitlin, or appear to Killer Frost as Ronnie, to get her to sort of align herself with him, and maybe that's what he's using, and he's somebody completely different. Maybe he's still somebody that we haven't met yet, but I don't feel like that's who it would be, is that it would be somebody, I mean, that's sort of what I was leaning to originally, but from everything that's happened in the last episode, and from everything that seems like is going to happen in the next episode, I just do not think that it would be somebody that we don't know, or that we haven't met on the show already. But, I mean, overall, I honestly don't know who Savitar could be. I mean, I know that it's definitely, like I've said in the entire video, it's definitely a huge possibility that it could be Ronnie now. It's a huge possibility that it could be somebody that we haven't met yet. It could be, I don't know, it could be Eddie or something. I don't know. That's sort of the thing, is I'm really torn right now. Is just, I don't know who Savitar is. I can't wait to actually figure out who Savitar is. I think the Flash has done a great job with sort of keeping the mystery of Savitar's identity throughout the entire season. Judging from the trailer for the next episode, it seems like we will actually figure out Savitar's true identity, so we'll know who he is going throughout the rest of the season. But yeah, this is just sort of my theory as to how I think Ronnie could have actually become Savitar. Tell me what you guys think about this down in the comments below. Tell me who you guys think Savitar is. Tell me if you guys think Ronnie is Savitar. Tell me if you sort of have a different way as to how Ronnie could have become Savitar, if you think he is Savitar. But yeah, leave all your thoughts down in the comments below. And until next time, guys, it's been Tazz, and I'll see you guys in the next video.